Be starting in 2 minutes here, and we'll get rocking and rolling. Letting some more people funnel in here. Hope everybody's doing well today. I know I am. It's getting nice and cold. We had a ton of snow last night here in Grand Rapids, but everybody's thinking 2022, and so are we. It's a great thing. Eric, Eric, the CTO, has the jams going today, everybody. he's the CTO, he codes, and he can DJ your wedding. That's an amazing thing. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to the 2022 No BS webinar, Dominating Digital. You know, in the digital space, there's a lot of people saying a lot of things, and I'm a pretty simple guy myself. I'm not great at a lot of things, but what I am good at is getting attention for brands. Specifically my own companies, but then also helping other companies get attention for their brand and help grow their business. If there's one thing I know in this world, it's how to grow revenue. That's what I've done at my lawn care companies. It's what I've done at my non-lawn care companies. It's what we've done for Lawnbot. And today we're going to dive into some, I want to give you some tactics maybe that you can use in your business to help in 2022 that maybe a lot of people aren't thinking about. They're not looking at these tactics yet. You know, Facebook in 2009 was a great deal. Facebook today is super expensive, but we're going to talk about how you can still leverage Facebook in your business today. Hey, Eric, you want to pop on and introduce yourself to everybody?
Hey, everybody. Eric Ulbrich here. I am the co-founder and CTO of Lawnbot and DJ extraordinaire. Just lending some credence to Mr. Kendall here. Mr. Kendall is not full of BS, even though that's what the webinar is named. It's like he's an exceptional marketer. I've been doing this a long time, and to see a pedigree like Kendall come out and go ahead and just sell. You're definitely going to learn something here, even if you have used Facebook, even if you have used LinkedIn. You're definitely going to pick up some nuance and some tip here and there that help you grow your business and make you more successful online. So even though you might have heard some of this stuff, I would encourage everybody just to stay on because you're definitely going to get a nugget or two of gold during the presentation.
Yeah, and just some housekeeping notes. There's a questions tab within this app. If you have a question, we're going to do a Q&A at the end. So if you have a question that pops up during the presentation, we're going to roll through the questions at the end of the presentation. We're going to try to keep it to 30 to 40 minutes. real nice and sweet. We're going to take it at a really high level. And then obviously we're always here available if you want to get more granular with the details. So with that, let's kick it off. And who am I? For those of you that don't know who I am, my name's Kendall Hines, the co-founder of Lawnbot. Obviously, Eric is our other co-founder. I grew up in the green industry my whole life. I actually, my dad started the first lawn doctor franchise here in Grand Rapids back in the year 2000. So I remember riding around with him in the truck at 8 years old, sitting in the passenger seat, literally like dreaming about one day, like I saw all these big companies and I was like, how did they get that big? Like, how did they grow? Wouldn't it be cool if we had 20 trucks, 10 trucks, even 5 trucks? It seemed unimaginable at the time. And all that business needed was sales and marketing. And through a long series of events, I'm sure everybody's done it in their own life. I went to college, ended up coming home, modern day prodigal son. Wasn't really sure what I was going to do. You know, I thought I wouldn't work in the family business. I thought it wasn't for me. I thought I'd wear a suit. Like that's who, like, you know, at the time I respected. And I ended up coming home, and the only thing that my family's business needed was sales. You know, we had a great product, family owned and operated business, been in business a long time. You know, my dad started the company because he didn't want his sons to ever have to work for anybody. So, you know, I remember there were times when he had 3 jobs, right? Just to kind of put his family in a better spot. And after I came home from school, I said, hey, you know, I don't have a lot going for me. I'm just going to commit myself to this thing. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know where it's going to lead me. I can tell you one thing: that night when I committed to that journey, I read every page of that franchise manual, like literally every page. I think I was like 19 at the time, maybe 20. And it was the first time that I feel that I really committed myself to anything. So in 6 seasons, I helped grow my family's business from 93 accounts to 2,000 customers with literally almost no direct mail. Every dollar that we had to spend we had to get a 10x return on that dollar. That's why I think I have a very unique perspective. Instead of just when I was looking to grow this business, when we had 93 customers, I was talking to other franchisees, and they gave me advice that said, oh, just go take out a big loan and just do a bunch of direct mail. Well, what kind of advice is that? That's not very good advice, you know, for a young entrepreneur, especially if it didn't work, especially if that hit rate's less than 1%, right? It just didn't seem like ROI was there. So we had to leverage, and me being younger, I naturally gravitated towards technology. And I said, you know what? Nobody else is competing in this space. No one else is even playing in this space. What if we just go in and dominate the digital space? And let's see how that goes. And in 6 seasons, you know, we grew to 2,000 customers. Home shows, Facebook ads, Instagram, Google reviews, like literally all the digital that we're going to talk about today, I did to help grow my family's business. So here you can see there's a picture of us when we acquired the company. Funny story about this picture: every employee in here is a millennial, which I think is kind of cool. And this is a shot of our warehouse. It might look familiar to some of your warehouses today, but we grew that business really quickly. And during the growth, I realized I'm generating all these leads using this newfound marketing. Like nobody else is doing Facebook ads in my market. Nobody else is like dominating Google reviews and thinking about it in that way. You know, but then I'd come in Monday morning and there'd be 1,000 emails, 1,000 voicemails, like a million different things to do. And why can't people just order online? Like, well, it seems like that's how I do business. I book all my haircuts online. If I can't buy anything online, I typically like don't do it. So that's where the big idea of Lawnbot came from, was like, hey, I think people do things online. I think that's the way everything is going. We're not going backwards to yellow pages. We're only getting more advanced and more towards technology. I think everybody would agree with that. And so the big idea was I started experimenting, and the first version of it was called Lawn Doctor Instant Quote. I used it in my own business. I wanted to validate that the market cared about it. I wanted to validate that, hey, it will make sales. If you're using Lawnbot today, it is a very different version from what we launched 3 years ago as Lawn Doctor Instant Quote. But you can see from the very beginning, even when I was a Lawn Doctor franchise, I was trying to get as much attention as possible. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. So through the growth, I had my friends on Facebook reaching out saying, "Hey, Kendall, are you going to white label this? Like, can I use this in my business?" This is when it was the first version, the Lawn Doctor Instant Quote. And I was like, wow, there really could be something here. Like it's not just my company that needs it. It's every lawn care company in America, or in fact, the world. Lawn care is huge in Canada. It's big in the UK. I think every green industry business could benefit from adding online ordering to their business. So through that growth, there's a lot that happened in the middle, but we grew customer count very quickly. Today, we're up to 250 companies that use Lawnbot in their business. And during that growth, we got into an accelerator for Michigan State. And we were getting ready to raise money because we wanted to explode this idea and this thing. And Bill Noonan, the CEO of Real Green at the time, was, "Kendall, if you ever are going to raise money, like, come talk to us first." 80% of our customers use Real Green. And that was some feedback that we've gotten along the way. It was like, it's got to integrate with Real Green. It's got to integrate with Real Green. And today, the integration is stronger than ever. And we're continuing to make it better and better and better over time. But as all of us Real Green users know, it's a very advanced platform, and some things aren't so simple sometimes. But along the way, we were acquired by Real Green last December, and it was a big win. It was 10 years of work. So that's kind of where my background comes from, who I am, and why I'm talking to you today. So let's dive into the content here. So my religion, everything I live by, is attention. When my lawn doctor business didn't have customers, nobody knew about us, right? If they don't know you, then they can't buy from you. If they've never seen your brand, how would they ever be able to become a lead, right? So everything I do is how do we get as much attention for the brand as possible? Whether it's home shows, lawn signs, knocking on doors, telemarketing, Facebook ads, TikTok, whatever, like using all those methods to make sure that we can get as much attention for the brand as possible. And like, this is like the holy grail of how I think about marketing and sales is if they don't know you, they can't buy from you, right? Like, a lot of people like to say what they will about, True Green, this and that, but people know them, right? It's their top of mind awareness. When that problem comes up, they're known. That means they get a lot of leads. That means they get a lot of sales. They're known. So what does all that mean? Like, what is all this? I tried to codify it in one word of how I think about marketing and sales, and especially in today's era. What does that mean? Well, it means to be omnipresent in the marketplace. It means that when Jimmy, right, like is looking for lawn care or thinks of something in the green industry, they're going to think of you and your brand first. Even if it's not necessarily something you do, like, you want to be so known in your marketplace that if they think about freaking anything in the green industry, I want them thinking of my brand first. And that was the approach going into growing the lawn doctor business. Was I made a commitment. I said, hey, if anybody thinks about anything in the green industry, I want to be so known that people start hating us, that oh my gosh, that lawn doctor company. And to be honest, they did. I mean, there's probably a lot of competitors in Grand Rapids that don't like us, and that's okay. But I can promise you it's because we're getting so much attention. So when we think about an omnipresent plan, it's all these different, what does that mean in the marketplace? Well, it means there's all these different touch points that we can have with the customer, whether it's Instagram, Google My Business, Nextdoor, Facebook advertising, TikTok, SMS, email, low-hanging fruit. But then here's the great part. You don't have to change anything about your business to add these digital components, these digital line items to your marketing strategy for 2022. I included some of the more traditional stuff right here because I'm a big believer in that too. I want to do everything. I want to own the space. I want to be omnipresent in the marketplace. So what does that mean? I'm obsessed with being omnipresent in the marketplace. That means I'm doing traditional, lawn signs, home shows, B2B channel partners, referrals, telemarketing, direct mail, billboards, low-hanging fruit. And then you start adding all this digital, like you're going to have a bonfire with all these little bricks of wood that you're putting on the pile that's so hot and so bright that when people think of what you do in the green industry, you're going to be the first one they think about and the first one they call. So today, and that's what we're going to dive into in this presentation, all these different digital components that you can add to your business, your marketing plans, that you can be omnipresent in the marketplace in 2022. So does this work for just lawn care companies? Like I have a design build company. I have a pest control company. I have a lash company, Kendall Hines. I'm a co-founder in a lash business here in Grand Rapids called Masha Lash. My wife is named Masha, and we created a lash brand in June, used all these tactics that we're going to talk about in this presentation to get up to 40,000 a month in recurring revenue. We opened August 1st. We opened the doors August 1st. We're doing 40,000 in revenue. And as Jana in the finance department at WorkWave says, I love the green arrows, baby. We want the green arrows going up and up and up. We only want to see green arrows. So we used all of these tactics that we're going to dive into, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Nextdoor, Google My Business, Google Guarantee. We used all those tactics to grow Masha Lash to 40,000 a month in recurring revenue. Literally, we got the keys in June, started marketing the shit out of it, 40,000 a month in revenue right out of the gate, right? So it works for any business. It works in lashes. It works in pest control. It works. This does not, iPhones don't discriminate. People live on digital platforms. How much time did you spend on your phone yesterday? How much time did you spend in email yesterday? We're only going more digital. We're not going back. So here's some stats. Like here's some real, for the analytical people out there, 573 Facebook leads, grew Instagram by 1,200 followers. And for the real analytical people, look at this cost per lead. These are lead generation campaigns on Facebook. And we're going to dive into exactly what lead generation campaigns are later in the presentation. But look at this cost per lead. Like this is sick. This is straight from our Facebook account. And you can see the spend isn't that much, especially for the folks spending $100,000 on direct mail. So you don't have to allocate a huge amount of your budget to even test out these platforms. Some people aren't aware of the platforms. That's why I'm sure that's why you're here and watching this today. So it works. It works in all verticals. You might change the platform depending upon if you're B2B or B2C, but today we're talking about B2C. So it works in all verticals, this omnipresent plan. So we went from idea to cash flowing to a cash flowing business in 2 months. So let's dive in. How are we going to get there? Number one thing we need analytics and visibility. It doesn't matter what we do in the digital space unless we can measure it and grow it. How do you know if you're growing? Well, you have to be able to measure it, right? And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So if you don't have any kind of user tracking on your website, I highly advise it. This is like Hotjar or InspectLit. These softwares, it's a simple few lines of code. You add it to your website and it actually tracks what the user does on you literally watch their mouse move and like what they're looking at, what they're clicking on. And I think it's very eye-opening because when we look at this at our own companies, at my own companies, I'm like, wow, people don't even go to that page. Like, why are we putting time and effort into growing that page when 80% of people don't even leave the homepage? They hit the homepage, they read the reviews, and they become a lead. So let's strengthen those parts of the page. So we need analytics, we need visibility into all of our digital that we're running. And that starts with having full visibility from your website. So using a product like Hotjar or InspectLit or and a product like Google Analytics that you can track where your users are coming from, what platforms they're coming from, where should we be spending more money, right? Where's our traffic coming from? The next thing I want to dive into is low-hanging fruit. So before I would spend any new dollars in digital marketing on some of these newer mediums and platforms we're going to talk about, I would look at and challenge everybody, what are we doing to get the low-hanging fruit? Like in a case where your business has been around for, let's say, 15 years, it is much easier to get money from somebody who already knows your brand, right? Remember, attention, if they don't know you, they can't buy from you. All these low-hanging fruit people, they already know you. They canceled you. They said, hey, dude, I hate your service. Go away. Or, you know what? I'm going to go with green grass next year, quoted, not sold. Or current customers, they already know you, right? That's the first place. When I'm looking to grow revenue in any business, that's where I'm going. I'm like, how can we leverage our current customers to grow revenue first? Because I can guarantee you that the close rate, the hit rate is a lot higher on people that already know your brand than going out to the marketplace and getting cold traffic. Now, in a full-on marketing plan, you need all the traffic, but this is the first place I'd go. And that's why it's first in the presentation is low-hanging fruit. And what does that mean? Well, it means coming up with an SMS and an email campaign. You can send direct mail too. That's not bad, especially in the lawn care space, but this is a digital presentation. Coming up with an SMS and email campaign out to these 3 types of segments. So think about how many current customers that you have. How many people in your database do you have that you gave a quote to over the past 10 years, 15 years? And you have their name, email address, and phone number, and lawn size. So you can send them a direct price, right away. There's no going out there. You already have their lawn size. You already invested the money into, generating that lead, giving them a quote. They didn't sign up. And now we're going to hit them with an email and a text with an offer to sign up. And then cancel customers. It's funny. I talk to a lot of Lawnbot customers, and they don't have a cancel campaign in place. When we were running Lawn Doctor, that was some of the hottest material. Now, we all know in this industry, like sometimes there's customers that you'll just never please. But what you'll find is, especially if you're segmenting your cancels, is there's some winnable revenue there that we can reactivate. And the best part about it is we don't have to spend any money on generating that new lead. We already did. We already spent that money. That person doesn't go away. So that's why it's super important. I encourage everybody to have a great CRM system in place to make sure you're tracking all these different types of segments and keeping really clear data so that you can hit these people with specific campaigns at specific time of the years. For example, in the North, I'd be hitting the cancel list right now. I'd be hitting quoted, not sold, and I'd be hitting current customers for upsells. So let's say they have a lawn program, but they don't have mosquito, or they have mosquito, or they don't have a lawn program. Hitting them with a really select special offer so that they can sign up for service before I ever dive into any new digital mediums. Speed to the lead, baby. What does that mean? That means you have a defined sales process in place. When a new web lead comes in, you have an exact process for what happens when that web lead comes in. And I'd recommend that this is written out, like to really help think through, like somebody fills out form on my website, what happens next? And what does that process look like? For example, if somebody uses Lawnbot, somebody fills out the form on their website, they go to the online ordering system, at the same time, that data is being synced into Service Assistant, right? And really understanding what's happening to that data and where it's going. Because it doesn't matter if we generate a bunch of leads, if we don't get to them in the first 5 minutes. The next thing is making sure the number on your trucks is textable. This is something that it surprises me that a lot of companies still haven't done. There's actually softwares out there now that can turn your number on your trucks to a textable number. Well, then you might say, well, I don't want everybody like on their phones. Like, how are we going to track all of that messaging? Well, using something like Captivated.works will keep all of your messages on your computer in the browser, and your whole team will be able to view those in real time. There's a web app on the phone. So you're actually sending text messages through their platform and viewing them via the browser. So it's a really amazing tool, and I really encourage everybody to do it. The open rate on text messages is just insane. I mean, it's not even compared to email. You probably got a bunch of our text messages for the Lawnbot webinar. So it works, and I highly encourage everybody to be doing it. And the best part about Captivated is it integrates with Real Green. And finally, the third, make sure we write up every lead. somebody can't buy something if they don't see a price. Like, how are you supposed to sign up for something if they've never seen a price? Obviously, if you're using Lawnbot, they're going to get a price to sign up, and it's up to them whether they want to move forward and sign up or not. But you could even take it a step further and think about, like, if you're not using Lawnbot, and let's say you're just getting web leads, and then you call them, and of course you get voicemail. What do you do at that point? Are you sending them a quote or not? I would say we need to send them a quote for whatever your most popular package is. Like, that seems like a waste of a lead in marketing dollars if you generate the lead and then they never end up seeing a price. It's impossible to sign up for something unless you propose something for them to buy, right? So it makes total sense. Next, I want to dive into tech basics. So I've seen some really big company websites as we're going in to install Lawnbot that their website's not secure. SSL security is super important. It's that little lock screen that's at the top of the browser, at the top left of the browser. And if it's not there, it will say not secure. So when you think about prospects landing on your site and the first thing they're seeing is not secure, like that's a huge and important thing that we need to make sure that all of us, especially if we're trying to grow digital, that your website's secure. It's very important. Next is make sure your business is listed properly on Google and all the other relevant listing sources. So Facebook, Yelp, Home Advisor. You want to make sure all that data is consistent across the web. If it's not consistent, Google's going to look at your domain authority as not very good. So you want to really make sure that the name, email, phone number, address all match for all your branches. And the third is, before you spend any money on these newer platforms, is really making sure your website's optimized for leads. We call it 3 seconds to convert, above the fold. We want that quote form on the homepage, above the fold, to the right. If you look at the most successful lawn care companies in America, that's how they have their lead form set up on their website. Prospect lands on the site, boom. I don't have to go search around their website, like, where do I put my info in? I just got back from so-and-so's website, big national company, right? I was able to put my info in 3 seconds on theirs. And do I click on contact? Do I click on request a quote? Like, where do I go? So simple is better. Boom, request a free quote, 4 fields, above the fold, 3 seconds to convert. Big fan of that. Next, I want to dive into GMB. This is by far, if you take one thing away from this presentation, if we all just spent more time on getting more Google reviews, our businesses would be in much better spots just across the board. Google reviews are the holy grail of inbound digital leads. Think about how you buy, how you shop. I'm sure you Google things. I'm sure you see, like, hey, how many reviews do they have? Do they have 2 reviews or 200, right? Like, when you look at this image, these are both lawn care companies in Round Rock, Texas. I just Googled Round Rock Lawn Care. And, which company looks better digitally? Like, when you think about when you're in a digital environment, all you have is text to go by. They haven't talked to anybody. They haven't, like, ever maybe they've gotten marketing material, but they have no sense how big your business is. So first of all, I want to ask, which company looks bigger? The next question I want to ask is, which one would you call first, right? Would you call one with the 440 reviews or the 9 reviews? I'm calling the 440 all day. They have 440 reviews. They kind of probably know what they're doing, right? In their business, 440 people wouldn't have reviewed them. I bet you, to me, this one with 9 reviews doesn't look like they have 400 customers. That's not who I want on my property. Guarantee you that. So Google reviews are the holy grail, and I think every business should be focusing more on it. What we've noticed at Lawnbot is we work with now 250 plus companies, is that the companies with the most reviews are the highest rated, the companies with the most reviews on Google get the most digital inbound leads. So when we bring on a new Lawnbot customer and they have like 400 reviews, I just, like, lick my lips, because, like, I know they're going to have success, because that's how people buy online. That's how people buy on Amazon. They read reviews before they buy products. When you buy something online, you want to know it's a reputable site. You want to know other people have bought it and that there's social proof. So I would encourage everybody. The first goal is to get to 20. After 100 is the magic number, that 3 digits. And the biggest thing about acquiring reviews is it needs to be easy for your customer. It's got to be via SMS or email. You got to use some sort of interactive survey. If you don't want to do it yourself, you can buy ReviewBot. It'd probably be the best $1,000 you've ever spent for your business. And it's got to be simple. It's got to be one button click and boom, Google opens up. They leave their review. Bada bing, bada boom. So you can either do it yourself or you can add ReviewBot to your business. And like I said, it'd be the best $1,000 you ever spent for your business. So what does that mean about PPC? Should you be doing pay-per-click? Pay-per-click is a really sexy buzzword because you might think that, hey, we're just going to dump more money into pay-per-click and like grow our business. I wouldn't even consider pay-per-click until your GMB profile is optimized. You have photos on there, you have 50 reviews. And it's my belief that pay-per-click should be looked at as gasoline and icing on the cake, not a main go-to-market strategy in most cases. You're going to spend so many more ad dollars because the problem is, you have your Google My Business listing, which shows up, and then you're paying for pay-per-click that's there. The problem is they're, let's say they see an impression in pay-per-click, they see your name and they're like, oh, who's this like lawn guys dude? And they go down to your profile and they're like, oh, he's got 2 reviews. Screw that. I'm not posting on there. So PPC should be looked at gasoline and icing on the cake, not a main go-to-market strategy. That's just my opinion. But bigger companies, if you're going to do pay-per-click, what should you be asking the companies that are placing your pay-per-click ads? I personally place all my own pay-per-click ads because I understand the platforms. I understand the targeting. I know when there's lift and when there's not lift. Like, you want to have somebody obsessed and looking at your numbers like that, like expending your ad dollars as if they were their own. That's the kind of level of commitment you want from your pay-per-click, somebody placing your pay-per-click ads. So some questions I would ask them is how much of every dollar that I pays you goes towards a click, right? So if I give you $1, how much of that is commission and how much of that is going to Google of actual ad spend? How do you track success of my campaign? Is it impressions? Is it clicks? Do we have a proper landing page set up for the pay-per-click where we're actually driving that traffic to? And that goes back to having the correct analytics in place on the front end, Google Analytics and Spectlet. Now, it's great. You go and hire this company, pay them $50,000, whatever. But as an owner, I want to know for sure. And it's with tools like Inspectlet and Google Analytics. These tools are so simple for you to just, what do they call it in the government? Trust and verify, right? Especially as something like pay-per-click. What's this $20,000 for over here? Did that really go to ad spend? Who knows? Just chalk it up, right? Can you tell us about your bid and budget management strategies or best practices? Do they set it up in the spring and they don't look at it again until the fall? Like when we're running pay-per-click, when we're running Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, we're like obsessive about looking at these numbers. Where's the lift? Or are we getting lift in the business and adjusting as we go? So you really want to make sure that they're going to be with you along the way. This leads me to the Google Guarantee. This is a new topic for this year. We wanted to make sure that this would be around from last year's presentation. So what is Google Guarantee? Well, Google rolled out this guarantee program where Google actually verifies your business as a legit business. You have insurance, that you do quality work with good reviews, and super easy to sign up. And I think this is a must for every company. If it's not part of your 2022 strategy, you need to be Google guaranteed. So you can sign up as a service provider. Google actually verifies your company, and then you set your budget and you only pay for the leads that are verified actual lawn care leads. So it's very cost effective. But then also you think about the old style pay-per-click. Usually it was the pay-per-click was at the top. Well, now Google Guaranteed is at the top. So this is a place that your business needs to be found in 2022 if you want to dominate in the digital space. I want them seeing me in the Google Guarantee. I want them seeing me in the GMB. I want them seeing in the main body from good SEO. I want them seeing me everywhere. Omnipresence, baby. I want them seeing like literally everywhere they look, they're going to see me. They go to Facebook, they're going to see me. They go to TikTok, they're going to see me. Instagram, they're going to see me there too. At your kid's soccer game, bam, sponsored the field, right? So omnipresence, it's all part of it. You can add these little pieces, and the cost for this is like almost nothing. It just takes effort. It takes you looking into it. It's all out there. And I'm going to share this deck out to everybody. There's a link to sign up for Google Guarantee in this deck. A very simple process to go out and do that. Let's dive into Facebook ads. Now, Facebook, and by the way, I don't care about the platforms. It could be Facebook, it could be TikTok, it could be Instagram. I don't really care. I care about the attention. And right now, Facebook, Google, TikTok, Instagram, they have all the attention. Humans are on their platforms. I want to get in front of humans. I want to be known. I want to get out of obscurity, right? So Facebook ads. If you've never run Facebook ads in your business, and by the way, before we jump into Facebook ads, boosting a post is not Facebook ads. So if you've ever boosted a post, that's on Facebook ad. What I'm talking about is using the business manager to actually build a lookalike audience and then generate an actual ad inside of Facebook with smart data that they can actually become a lead right inside of Facebook. They never leave Facebook to give you all their data. Facebook has the data. We all know that. Zucks is building a metaverse around that, right? In my belief, and this is my belief, there's lots of opinions out there, but my belief, just from my own experience, because I built 2 companies on the back of Facebook ads when everybody else said in 2014 that Facebook was nothing. You know, I had franchisees reaching. Dude, you can't grow a business on Facebook, right? Old school, dude, like, it's okay. But we did it. Hands down, one of the best ROIs in the home service cost per lead. We average a cost per lead of $20 a lead on Facebook. You saw in the lash business. I'm going to show you some statistics in the lawn care industry, and make sure your Instagram page is connected. It's an emerging platform. It has 1 billion users. And the nice thing about Facebook ad, you can serve your ads on Facebook, but you can also choose their sister platform, Instagram, to serve your ads to. So this is an example of Facebook ads that I've helped other companies set up and run. Like I said, it's an ad in the feed, you know, a beautiful eye-catching before and after photo, emojis. You want the emojis in there. It gets attention, right? Attention, attention, attention. I want attention, baby. Contact information. This auto-populates with their Facebook contact information, so they don't have to type. It just sucks it all in, and they click next. And then you get all their data. They never leave the Facebook platform. That's why these are so effective. That's why we're such big fans of it over here at Lawnbot. And here's the stats. Look at this lawn care company. 207 Facebook leads, 82,000 impressions, or 82,000 people reached, 250,000 impressions, $15 cost per lead. Like, that's sick. And I guarantee it's beating a lot of what's out there right now. EcoLawn. 351 Facebook leads, 71,000 people reached. Cost per lead, $4.80. I think that speaks for itself. That's name, address, phone number, email. Here's one right here, 429 Facebook leads, 550,000 impressions, $17 a lead. Like, hands down, one of the best cost per leads and ROI in the digital space. So data is key, right? Why do these work so well? Well, Facebook has a ton of data on you. I'm sure everybody knows that already. It's called a lookalike audience. What we do is we upload your current customer list, or what you would do is upload your current customer list to Facebook, and you say, hey, Facebook, go find everybody on Facebook that looks like my current customers, right? And we're only going to serve and Facebook says, we're only going to serve your ad to people that look like your current customers. Now, as a marketer, I'm like, oh my God, my lips are salivating. It'd be like only paying for a billboard to be shown to people that like are most likely to buy my service. Why would I want to show my billboard to people that aren't likely to buy my service? So you think about that targeting, it's really amazing. And that's how these work so well, is through these lookalike audiences. And that's why I went back to my first point here. You need to be doing it from the business manager, not boosting the post. Boosting is a waste of money. You don't want to do that. And that leads me into Instagram. So if you don't know, Instagram is owned by Facebook. Well, I guess you can call it Meta now if you're following news and recent events. You can serve ads set up on Facebook, like I mentioned before, on the Instagram platform. So that way you're hitting all of the channels. You're hitting Facebook, you're hitting Instagram, and you're managing your ads in one spot. It's a beautiful thing. Here's a company, Instagram, that I'm really impressed by. It's Expera Green Lawn Care. They're customers of Lawnbot. Aniri does a fantastic job with the digital. We always talk about new and emerging platforms together. And I'm really happy with how they've embraced the new social media channels, and not only embraced, but they're dominating right now. Like, she was telling me about Pinterest ads she's running, and I'm like a lifelong learner. So I'm always trying to learn about new platforms. So that's something that might be in the 2023 webinar, is Pinterest ads, right? Here's the whole thing about being digitally omnipresent. I don't want to buy pay-per-click because it's super expensive. I want to go where people aren't looking so I can buy impressions and clicks for super cheap. I mean, 3 years from now, I guarantee we come back to this spot and we're going to be talking like, oh yeah, of course we need to be on TikTok. It sounds a little crazy right now, but you know what they say, first they call you crazy and then they end up following suit once the whole world does. So, but the thesis there is you can buy underpriced attention right now for so cheap with just a little bit of effort. We go here, and this is new, newsflash. If you're not familiar with Instagram, they have these things called stories. You can actually now, if you're not familiar with stories, whether they're on Facebook or Insta, there are these vertical videos that you can post to your feed. And up until they just released this new link feature, you couldn't add a call to action in the story. Thing about these stories is they have huge reach because they're easily digestible. You can just click on it and watch it. And a lot of people watch them. Think about how many that you watch. But now they just added a links feature. This is big. This is really big because now people, when they view the story, they just tap a button. They can land on a direct call to action. So you want them to land on Lawnbot. You want them to land on your website. You can now do this from IG stories. So it's something we had to touch on during this webinar because I think it's super important. We've been banging it up for Lawnbot. Maybe that's how you registered for today. But anytime you post on Instagram, Facebook, there should always be a call to action. Always give them something to click. Always make sure that there's a CTA. Next platform I want to talk about is Nextdoor. The reason why we're featuring all these platforms is because, again, they have attention. What we love about Nextdoor is it's verified homeowners. You can target specific zip codes. You can target specific neighborhoods. The users of Nextdoor they're verified homeowners. They actually have to get a postcard and verify they own the house. And they're in over 100,000 neighborhoods. And the company just went public. So what we're expecting is this graph here is going to continue to go up and to the right. And you look at how quickly that's growing. Customers want to engage in their community, and we think Nextdoor is going to be big. So if you're not Nextdoor, highly advise it. We used it for Moshalash. It wasn't a huge investment. That's the best part. And you can see the kind of reach we're getting. In the lash business, this was pulled from our lash business, Nextdoor, is you can actually buy zip codes. So we bought this 49315. It's got 4,700 neighbors in it for $29 a month, and I can ingest my ads into their feed for $29 a month. Great ROI, super underpriced attention that we can get. And like I said, verified homeowners, and you can target with a scalpel. Look at how like detailed and granular. These are all neighborhoods in and around Byron Center, where Moshalash is. And you can see we can get down to the neighborhood. So what I love about this is you're not paying for condos. Well, actually there are some condos in there, but you're not paying for apartment complexes. So it's just verified homeowners. It's one of the new emerging platforms we're watching really closely. Again, you go on, I would highly advise everybody to have a personal profile, but then also create a business profile. And here's an example of ours, my old one, Lawn Doctor of Grand Rapids. Very much like Facebook, you want to be seen on there. Every lawn care owner I've talked to says they get leads from Nextdoor already organically. So let's dump gasoline on that fire and throw some paid media towards it. you can see there's a couple different ways to advertise on Nextdoor. One is you can sponsor posts in specific zip codes. Big fan of this, very much like Facebook, where you actually make specific ads and direct response ads. The next way is local deals. So this is the best method on Nextdoor, in my opinion, is to do a local deal, because they give preference to the views. And you can see once they buy this deal, they actually get put into a list and they're sent a coupon for this deal. And you can make whatever deal you want. So you can do you can mark up your service and then do half off or whatever you want to do. Great underpriced way to get attention for your business. And what's amazing is for Mashalash, when we ran this campaign, we actually have promo codes in our online booking. So we ran a deal, did a promo code. And when I pull that promo code report, I can actually see how much sales we got from this deal. So really amazing way to advertise your business on Nextdoor is the local deals and then sponsored posts. And like I said, is this going to like move the needle a ton? No, but you want to be omnipresent in the digital places. I want them to see me on Nextdoor. I want them to see me on the Facebook groups, the HOA groups. I want them to see my Facebook ad. I want them to see me in a home show. I want them seeing my door knockers in the winter, my telemarketers on the phone. Like everywhere they look, they're going to be absorbed by my brand. And Nextdoor is just a piece to that omnipresent puzzle. This is by far the most exciting platform in a while. You might think of TikTok as just teenagers dancing around on the app. That is not the case at all. I can tell you from my wife's own experience, you know, she's a millennial. I'm a millennial. And she's watching videos on TikTok. There's 40-year-olds on TikTok. There's 50-year-olds on TikTok. The reason why we're talking about TikTok is because it has attention and they're growing faster than any social media platform ever in existence. What this is a graph of their path to 1 billion users, okay, for social media apps. You can see it took Facebook 15 years to get to 1 billion users. It took Instagram like 7 years to get to 1 billion users. Now let's look at TikTok. They got to 1 billion users quicker than any other social media platform. You need to be watching TikTok. You need to learn about it. You need to start experimenting now. If you want to dominate digital, this is a super underpriced way to get attention. And the best part is nobody's talked about this. I haven't seen it anywhere yet. TikTok just released their DMA regions. They're using Nielsen data now to target people on TikTok. So there's 210 DMA regions covering the entire continental United States, Hawaii, and Alaska. A DMA region is a local regional market. So if I want to target just people here in Grand Rapids, I can do that. And I'm going to show you that here in a second. So what would ads on TikTok look like? Maybe you're on the platform. I highly advise you to download it and just see what's on there.
No big.
So there is eye-catching interactive videos. Like think about your team on a spreader or a sprayer throwing fertilizer. It's definitely a new way to think about advertising online. This is an emerging platform. Like I said, that graph should make everybody take notice that this will be a thing. It's not going away, and they're only growing faster and faster as more people come onto the platform. And it is the most underpriced way to get attention for your brand for 2022. For example, here's their ad setup. So this is I took some screenshots here when I was setting up ads for Mashalash and really testing out this platform. And you can see here the DMA, and there's a good chance they have a DMA for your region because, like I said, they're using Nielsen data. But it allows you to target in such specificity. I can target everybody in Grand Rapids. I can go male or female, or doesn't matter. And then you can see here the age brackets. Here's what I want to call out. Everybody thinks TikTok's just for younger kids. Look at the audience in this in this age bracket, 248,000 to 304,000 estimated reach. Okay. That's taking everybody from 13 to 24 out of the mix. So you got to think about your business. Like, who's buying houses now? People that are 25 to 34. Everybody's buying houses right now. You can't find a house, but you can target just those people for super cheap. And I'll show you that here from some results that we've ran. So from TikTok, we spent $177. This is some from recent ads that we just set up to run on TikTok. $177, 43,000 impressions, 553 clicks. Like, when you think about that on a cost per click basis, it is just dirt cheap to get traffic and clicks to your website. And the exciting thing that, as me as a marketer, what I'm seeing on the back end is when we go and read these comments in TikTok, people are blown away by how good the advertising. They're like, oh my gosh, this is like great advertising. I'm in Grand Rapids all the time and I get my lashes done. Like, who's doing your advertising? Like, I would just the thing about it, like, as you're seeing, you could spend $5,000 on TikTok next year and not even know you lost it. And you can experiment with these platforms. I think it's super. It's a space that everybody needs to be looking at closely because of this new DMA. DMA was just released in May of 2021, and this was the key. I've been trying to advertise on TikTok for a while, and you couldn't segment by location. So they made it very difficult to, especially in what we do, home services, generally most of us are regional. So you can go in and hyper target these local markets. Now they're seeing me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Nextdoor, Facebook groups. They're hitting my website. They're seeing pay-per-click. They're seeing all these different things we're doing to be omnipresent in the marketplace. And TikTok is just another piece to the puzzle. I think everybody needs to be looking at it. And by the way, I haven't mentioned this, but you can use these platforms for customers. What about employees? I'm sure a lot of your technicians are on TikTok. Maybe you could do a TikTok ad to people in your ideal age range about why your company is the best company to work at. In these new times where like hiring people is so tough, we have to think about new ideas and new ways that we can get attention for our company. Getting attention isn't just for customers. It's getting attention for why your company is the best place to work. Why do people like working at your company? What are you offering at your business that other businesses aren't offering? Like, what can we do as an industry to make sure that we're showing up in everywhere, whether it's for new customers or for new employees? So I think you can absolutely use TikTok to get, applicants. Maybe you're doing $1,000 signing bonus, and this is just like off the top of my head, but you get $1,000 cash, all 20s, and like you're just making it rain on you want to work at our company, $1,000 signing bonus, just making it rain on a new hire. I think that would go over well, and it's attention grabbing, especially for this platform. But how many applicants do you think you get from that? I don't know. It's worth a shot. It only cost $150 to get 553 clicks. And by the way, we're tracking that all the way through the bookings, and bookings are way up this month from those ads. So it's definitely worth looking at for 2022. Again, I've included a link to create a business ads account in TikTok. You guys will all be getting this deck for attending the webinar. You can click there. The best part about it is you don't need a personal TikTok account to open a business ads account. And it's kind of like the Wild West. This is like Facebook back in 2009, where like anything goes as far as ads. And, with Facebook, they're really strict on the creative. They don't let you say certain things and use too much text in the ad. But TikTok, you can literally do almost anything you want right now, because it's kind of like the Wild West, because the platform is so new. But definitely think everybody should either start looking into it or even dip your toes in the water. Create a business ads account, go on there, set up an ad. We're going to be doing a future webinar on actually how to set up a TikTok ad and select your targeting, just like we have for Facebook on YouTube. So stay tuned for that. And kind of just to wrap it up, I want to dive into channel partners. Like, what can we do from a channel partner perspective to make sure that we're showing up better digitally? So the thing about channel partners is obviously they can refer you deals back and forth to each other. Maybe you're a lawn care company and you network with a pest control company and you guys trade leads and referrals to each other. I would highly advise that you create a partners page on your website and also link back to each other's pages. This is important for a lot of reasons. But the main reason is the backlinks. Why are backlinks important? Well, backlinks are especially valuable for SEO because they represent a vote of confidence from one site to another. So when Google is looking at, hey, should we place Green Lawn or Turf Masters? Who are we going to place first? They're looking for domain authority. The more backlinks that you have, Google looks at that as a more authoritative site. So think about all these companies that you probably refer business to now, or maybe they refer business to you, and reach out to them and say, hey, I'd love to backlink to each other's site. Do you mind if I put your website in my partners page? And, could you do the same for me? I would imagine they would love to do that because that would help their domain rank for whatever their domain is targeting for as well. And backlinks to your website are a signal to search engines that others vouch for your content. So it's huge. And kind of they are, right? If your friend is putting your link in their partners page, they're kind of vouching, saying, hey, these guys are legit. And the domain has authority. We did this for Lawnbot for a software. So we, initially, before we were acquired by Real Green, we linked back to Real Green, a company called Lawn Dork, Greene County Fertilizer Company, and it helped build our SEO value. So definitely look into that. And the tool that we use to monitor is called semrush.com. semrush.com. Again, this link is in the deck that I'm going to be sending, but this is a tool that most people that are placing PPC ads or doing SEO use. And it's amazing just the level of granularity that you can get about your site. It shows your authority over time, shows the amount of referring domains, how many people are referring back to you, what pages are getting the most views. You can actually type in, what I love about SEMrush, you can type in competitors' pages and you can see what they're doing in terms of what they're spending on pay-per-click, what keywords they're targeting, where they rank from an SEO perspective. And like I said, most digital companies use this tool to measure and improve, but I think it's a great tool for owners and general managers. Anybody that's has a hand in placing marketing spend really needs to understand for themselves what's going on the site and not just blindly taking your contractor's word for it, because this data is too easy to get to now and it's too simple to understand. You can see this is very simple. It's showing you exactly how many paid keywords, organic keywords, organic traffic, authority score. So you can use a tool like this to really make sure that, on one hand, you have the paid media sources, and on the other hand, you have the unpaid sources of SEO. And that's a longer term game. It takes time to do that, it takes effort, but it's definitely worth doing because the more SEO improvement you do, the more free leads that you're getting through your pipeline. So finally, in closing, I know we talked about a lot today at a really high level. Like I said, we're going to be releasing another webinar on actually running TikTok ads and placing the ads in creative here in the coming weeks, of actually the steps on how to do it. But I encourage you to get in there and try it yourself for now. Let's connect. If you have questions, if you have any personal questions that you have about your company and your specific go-to-market for implementing this omnipresence strategy, please reach out. We're here for you, and we'd be glad to help your company dominate digital in 2022. We're always helping our customers at Lawnbot think about how do we generate more traffic so that Lawnbot's more successful. The more leads they get into their funnel, the more sales Lawnbot makes. So it makes total sense to have us help them and really strategize their go-to-market strategy around paid media. So let's kick it to the Q&A. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in questions. I'm going to go back through the questions here and read them off and apply any answers here. So Derek Blumberg asks, will this be recorded to watch again? Yes, you're going to get it via email. You're also going to get this slide deck from the presentation. Ben Molitor, yes, Captivate has changed our company's communication. Absolutely. I've seen it change so many, and for the cost of it, it's a no-brainer for 2022. Your business needs to be texting in 2022. Two-way texting, not just one way. That means that they can respond to it, and then your whole team will be able to see it via the Captivated software. Jason Brewer asked, does ReviewBot post as a Google review? Yes. So during the ReviewBot setup, you can actually choose where you want your reviews to go, whether you want it to go to Google or Facebook, wherever you're really trying to improve reviews. We can actually change that destination URL pretty easily. So yes, it posts to Google, and we make sure that we're really strategic about keeping negative people away. So ReviewBot does a really good job at that. Do you recommend, Justin asked, do you recommend using video ads on Facebook or use traditional text ad copy? That's a great question. I'm always testing, and I encourage when you're placing Facebook ads for you to test as well. Have the same dollar amount spend, the same audience targeting, and maybe run one still image like before and after picture. But then I've also had great campaigns and success with, for example, we got interviewed by the news. I took that video clip, turned it into a Facebook ad, and like that social proof of seeing the logo in the news next to my face was one of the best campaigns we ever ran on video. So I would say let's test each one and then make our determination based on which ad is performing better. As a completely new business, what is the average spend in 1 year you'd recommend to get to 300K in revenue? I've heard 10X on dollars. I need to spend 30K to reach that revenue goal. Yeah. So if I was starting at zero, if I was starting at, just like martial arts, we got 0 to 40K in revenue. It's a little bit different than lawn care. Not really. It's a recurring service, but the service is on your face rather than the lawn at your house. So we spent, I think in Facebook ads to get to 40K in revenue, we spent about 22,000 in ads. But we spent on billboards too. We spent on lawn signs. I mean, we were putting lawn signs out there for a lash studio, which is unheard of. Like I want attention, right? I want omnipresence. I want everybody to know me. When they think of lashes, they're going to think of our brand first. So yeah, I would say usually what is recommended is 10% of revenue. So if you want to get to 300, 10% of that in marketing. If you're really pushing growth, it's going to be lean, but maybe 10 to 15%. Then you're like, eating rice and beans, but at least you're growing your top line revenue. You can cut back on marketing spend later. That's how I look at it. Let's grow top line revenue as soon as possible. Let's grow as fast as possible. You can always cut back marketing spend. You can always get rid of people later. Let's grow that top line revenue as quickly as possible. Is there a strategy for gaining access to Facebook groups as a business? Yes, there is. Yes, there is, Justin. Shoot me an email. I'll drop my email here and shoot me an email on that. I'd be glad to take you through it. How do you get backlinks in the lawn care industry starting out? More importantly, how do you get backlinks from your content? So what I would do to get backlinks, number one is having profiles on all the social media platforms linking back to your site. That'd be the first one. The second, what I would probably do is, to your point, start a blog and making sure that that blog is linking back to your site. The next thing I would do, this is a little bit longer, but it would work, is networking with other green industry professionals that are in your space and reaching out to them and saying, hey, I see you have a great business. You have a bunch of Google reviews. And I did this at Lawn Doctor. I'd see him on the road at the gas station. Every time I saw a green industry truck, I stopped the truck, grabbed my business cards, got out, said, "Hey, I'm Kendall. We do fertilizing. I see that you don't. I'd love to partner with you." And we had about 15 partners for Lawn Doctor that would refer us, but then a lot of them backlink to our site as well. So I would say always make sure that you're out there networking with other people in the green industry. I'm an introvert by heart. When I took over the marketing and sales, I didn't want to, like, that just wasn't who I am, or what was, I would say. Now I know that intention is so important for your business. You can be introverted, but there's times when you need to extrovert. And every time that I go up and introduce myself to somebody I didn't know, I gained an ounce of confidence. And you think about that over many years. So let's say it's 8 years of just doing the thing you're afraid to do. I know how important it is. And I would say always be networking. I wanted everybody to know who we were. I wanted customers. I wanted people in the green industry, all the vendors. Like, I'm publishing press releases in the green, like the magazines. This is for just Lawn Doctor. Like, there's multiple articles about our franchise and our business in the green industry publications. I want to get as much attention as possible. Money follows attention. The more attention you get, the more money that you're going to make in your business. I agree in that wholeheartedly. It's happened with every company I ever started and grew. Jeff asks, any recommendations for a good SMS company? I like Captivate. It works, so we use it at Lawnbot. It's a two-way texting platform. They have a browser extension, so it will scrape the data on whatever page you're looking at, and it will pull up that text conversation. But more importantly, is they have a phone app. So you think of your technicians in the field, your people in the office. Everybody is communicating through this platform to one spot, and they're able to communicate, but then also see what Jim said to Carol and what Carol said to Jim, and who's handling what. So to text at scale, you need a software like Captivated.works. And again, that link is in the deck. I'm going to share out to everybody. Definitely highly recommend it. Justin's asking about YouTube. YouTube's a funny thing. I know a lot of influencers, if you want to call them, on YouTube that have a million followers. Their business isn't lawn care, though. Their business is getting attention, and their business is getting paid by YouTube. They're typically one-man shows, and they're posting videos, which is great. If you want to be a YouTuber, I think that's a totally different path than like growing a big at-scale lawn care company. I mean, I would ask, any of those people that have high followings on YouTube, I want to see their P&L on their lawn care company. I don't think, not too many $1 million YouTuber lawn care owners out there, but you should have a YouTube channel because it applies backlinks, and you want video content to distribute out to your customers, and you want a platform that they're familiar with. So that would be YouTube. Vimeo is another one. I like YouTube because you have the potential for organic reach as well. So I think that's definitely a piece to the puzzle. I've seen people experimenting with pre-roll ads on YouTube using the Google platform. I think they're super expensive. That's why I didn't include it in this presentation. So there's people that believe in that. I think you need to have a YouTube page. You need to post videos. Is it going to get as much lift as these other platforms we talked about today? Just organically posting, hey, like, why do you have grubs and all this other stuff? I don't think so. I think it helps. You can include it in email communications. But is it going to grow your business by $100,000? I don't think so. No. John, I'm going to send a link to the replay, and I'm going to send a link to the deck. It has all the links that I talked about today, and that will be sent out here. Let's see here. Cool. So I appreciate everybody's time today. If you haven't already gotten the special offer, we're going to do a special offer for everybody on the stream that wants one. Whether you want to add Lawnbot to your business or ReviewBot to your business, I don't really care if you do or don't. I'd love to have you as a customer. I think it's really important to sell your services online. And also, ReviewBot helps your business get more reviews. So I think that's, in this presentation wasn't about that today, but I think everything that we can do to make the user experience better for prospects in the green industry, I think that's a good thing. So hope everybody's doing well today. I know I'm not, well, I am, but I've got the Ricolas going right now. Got a little cold. My son gave it to me, but hope everybody's doing well. I hope you have a great rest of your Friday. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're here for you. The whole Lawnbot team is here for you. There's 9 people on the Lawnbot team that only work about and think about online ordering for the green industry. So reach out via text, reach out, call me, email, whatever it is, however you connect. I'd love to hear from you. Hope everybody's doing well. And like I said, just check your email for the replay on the stream and the slide deck. We'll see you soon.